Hello everybody! Welcome to the list video. Last week we ranked the tarot cards, and this week we're going to rank the tarot cards. So it should be a good time. Let's dive in, shall we? With number 22 on our list, all the way at the bottom, we got the Empress. So the Empress, during the positive is during the first test, each investigator performs each round, they get +1 foot, and the negative is the first foot test is -1 foot.
Yeah, foot doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get +1 or -1. Really.
No, Russell, you agree?
Yeah,
It does.
Just comes in and just yells at me. So spoiler alert, we actually have like all of these ones here because they kind of all like lump together. So the High Priestess is +1 book, -1 book. The Emperor is +1 fist, -1 fist. And then we got the Hierophant, which is the card that makes me like the happiest in Binding of Isaac. It doesn't really
good.
inspire joy here. This is the +1 brain, -1 brain.
Yeah, so the biggest downside these have is like
You have to remember.
the colossal memory issues. God forbid you're playing a variant where you get like 2 of them and one of them's plus and the other's negative. And you're like, which stat do I use?
Yeah.
What if I pretend they're the same one and I
Yeah.
just do nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also like don't really do anything.
Yeah, no, it's like
The brain one's at the top is just the most impactful. Because like you might fail wrong remains by 1 more or something like that. Or like pass it because of it. But like for the fists and the book ones, your stats probably high enough that you're just gonna pass. And like we said about foot, it doesn't matter.
And also, like, the thing that if foot does matter to you, you're also shooting your foot to the moon.
Yeah, and like foot's so cheap and easy to get.
Yeah. I do think that these cards would be a lot more exciting if they were just +1, -1 to the stat, because then it's just like, you don't need to think. And who cares about, like, the Jim Culver, who's now like, I got 3 brain, right? Like,
I am purple and have no brain.
it would have just made it, like, actually, like, somewhat more enjoyable
Yeah.
to play with. Cause,
Yeah, those ones were like a little bit of filler, it felt like.
yeah. Which, I mean, like, when you have with 22 and you're, like, the stat ones, I wish they just
think
did
I
just
come
do
up with
the
something
+1, -1. All right. On all the way in number 18, we got Death. So this is each investigator gets +1 health, and then each investigator gets -1 health.
Yeah.
Not hard to remember, because it's just like a static thing.
The other one's next to, isn't it?
It is, but it wins because it has a bird puking into a cup.
Yeah, it's got bear art. That was
Yeah.
the tiebreaker. But yeah, these two are just kind of boring.
Yeah, Temperance is +1 sanity, -1 sanity. It is. They're just kind of just
They
dull.
don't matter that often.
No. And like sometimes you're like, you're rolling banks and you're like, that's a little bit spooky, but most of the time you're gonna still be fine.
Wait,
You just don't.
if you're playing rolling banks, you gotta play something to mitigate your 5 sanity, which like, it doesn't make that big of a difference if you're mitigating 4 sanity instead of 5.
So what you're telling me is that I should buy Observed and hope that I hit this one every time?
Yeah, that's a good way to
And
counteract
that's
it. Yeah.
that's how I solve my 5 sanity. I got it.
Yeah,
I
if you're gonna
I
spend 4
understand.
experience to make your sanity better, that's definitely a way to do it.
I've played with these cards a good chunk of time, and there's some that I've never seen before. Like I was cutting all the cards, and I was like, what the fuck is this one? This is not one of them. I've seen Bird Cup a lot.
Yeah, Bird Cup's good.
But I mean, like, Bird Cup is also one of the ones you actually play if you play with the reading in Circle One Done Return to. So that's why.
That makes sense.
All right, next one is coming up. This one, I'm going to just tell right now for everyone at home, this is going to be controversial for a lot of you. Number 16, we got The Fool. So The Fool is each investigator not defeated during this game earns +2 experience during resolution, and the negative is you get -2 experience during the resolution.
Yeah, this one's like also just boring. It like just if you're winning, you win harder, and if you're losing, you lose harder.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It's not really interesting in my opinion.
yeah, it's not the
Like, and you might look at this one and be like, oh, when I get it, it's just a free 2 experience, because like why would you be defeated, right? Because your deck's already good, but that's also partially why it's bad. It just there's no tension to it. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I the ones that actually like impact the game are like the real fun ones. Like as you'll see once we get to like the top ones that are like, I think like the real nice enjoyable ones. One thing that always happens with me with this one, whenever I play Observed, I usually just like it's a trap. I get Fool, and I'm like, I'll just pay the experience back that I put into the Observed. You know, because it's like a sunk cost. You know, I spent 4 experience. Let's get 2 of it back, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you die.
No, that was when I was playing Daniela, and I never died. for reasons.
Yeah, I mean, like this
And
one.
we
I
got that,
think,
and you were like, why do I have so much experience? What do I do with this?
Yeah. I bought.
What do you mean we have 15 experience?
I pulled out cards that I bought with experience. We had so much
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one would be a lot cooler if it were a level 1 green card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe exceptional, so you can only have one.
And maybe killed you if you.
Maybe like just did this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one, like the art for it is also like not as interesting as the others, though it is very on theme.
Mm-hmm.
You got like a piper who's blind
Yeah. All right.
But- and a fool.
You got to be if you're piping for Azathoth, right?
Toot.
All right, with number 15, we got, this is one of the ones that I didn't know existed, was the Moon. So the first time each investigator's deck would run out of cards, they may shuffle the bottom 10 cards of their discard pile into their deck. The other version is when the game begins, each investigator discards the top 5 cards of their deck and shuffle each discarded weakness into its owner's deck.
Yeah, this one also doesn't do anything, really.
Yeah. Like, and as you even pointed out, the downside for survivors is like actually a positive.
Yeah, with
you're
your
like
short supply, you're like, yeah.
15 card short supply. Yeah, and also, yeah, it's just, that's it.
All the,
It just,
the art's boring, too. It's not bad, it's just boring.
yeah, it's nice art, but yeah, it's missing. I mean, it's just a moon.
It's just basically, like, there's the moon and it's just yellow.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're in the top 14 now, so now things are going to start getting good,
Are we
right?
sure that's the moon or is it
Right.
cheese?
It's both. The moon is
Soggy
cheese, Gromit,
See how
yes.
it's dripping?
Oh my god.
Well, it's just
It is. Someone microwaving the moon right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 14. This is the Hermit. You increase each investigator's maximum hand size by 3 or decrease each investigator's maximum hand size by 3.
Yeah, this one's, like, kind of interesting sometimes.
I like the downside one of this one a lot.
Yeah, the decrease is definitely more fun than the increase for most people, but...
yeah. But if you're playing like yellow draw cards, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened
Yeah.
to anybody.
Yeah, it is.
Maximum hand size, you're like...
Yeah. Right?
Play hand size dot deck, you're like...
You get like your labs isn't out 13 hand size. Get your dreaming hands in serum out. Oh, that's a.
This is
all right.
this is like a piece of the Justin 100 cards.
So, how many cards do you need in hand? You need 24 cards in hand for Thrice Damn Curiosity to kill you, right? It's 1 damage for every 3.
So you need 7, or... You have 7 now.
No, you have 8, I think. Oh, you have 7?
You're-
So only
he's-
21 then.
he's
He's a 7-8.
7-8,
He's
yeah.
7-8. So only 21 then. That seems like a Bryn Madhouse. Can we get one-shotted from our Thrice Damn Curiosity? We have to have this as part of it.
Well, yeah, you gotta pay your experience.
We
fee
could get-
observed, and then...
We can get 21 cards, right? We can get 21 cards in our
Yeah.
hand. That seems like another fun challenge.
Without this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right, that seems like a fun one-shot.
You have 8, you have 2 lab assistants, and then that's...
So that puts you to 12.
Yeah, and then you can play 2 arcane things, which is 2 more.
Yeah.
The
Well,
spell slot one.
you only need like once you get to 12 if you have a dream enhancing serum and
Yeah,
every
yeah,
card in your hand is a copy of a
2.
different
Yeah.
card. Then like you got 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, bag. I know there's still a wrap in there, but you can't have it. It's mine. I'll fight you for it.
All right. Enough hand size. Let's go on to Wheel of Fortune, number 13. Once each act, when an investigator reveals an auto-fail token, they may cancel it and treat it as a 0 token instead. And then the other one, the negative side, is once each agenda, the first time any investigator reveals an Elder Sign token, cancel it and treat it as a -5 instead.
Honestly, I would have liked it. This was like once each round instead of each act, because once per act is so much more difficult to remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even if it was just like once per game. You know,
Yes.
just like... It was
Once
like
each
once per
act.
game or once each round.
I mean, it doesn't do anything if it's once per game, I feel like, unless they're...
Oh, no,
like,
I
they could
agree.
maybe like
I agree.
autofail as a star instead, or star as an autofail instead, if they're going to do that. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, the
As it
each-
stands, there's just 2 main memory issues with this one. The effect itself is like fine. But...
Especially because, like, someone will see, like, nah, we don't need to pass this autofail test, and then never draw an autofail again.
Never again.
Never again.
No.
Yeah. All right. This is another one that I actually did not know. I just had never seen this one. We got the Sun. During each investigator's first turn, they may take 2 additional actions. And the downside is, you would have guessed it, 2 fewer actions on their first turn.
Yeah, this one's like...
Joke's on you, I took geared up.
It is, yeah. It's just like...
This one's like really good and really punishing. It's quite polarizing, but...
Yeah, the
like
two
fine.
for your actions is kind of like, yeah. It's
Just
like, what would you like to do with your one action?
Yeah.
Resource, please.
I mean, like, it's pretty medium. It's like we're halfway through the cards, so it's where it belongs.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's other ones that are actually very similar to the Sun that we ranked higher. And I think just because, like...
This one's, like, more polarized than them, though.
Yeah.
Like, the bad's really bad and the good's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is also, like, a much better Binding of Isaac tarot card than most of the other ones.
Yes, it's a great...
The Sun is pretty...
It's, pretty goated.
Yeah. Always. What's your least favorite Binding of Isaac tarot card? And why is it the Lovers?
Okay, so, like, personally...
It's not the Lovers. It's probably, like, the Strength card, because I always try to, like...
Oh, yeah.
Save it for... I always, like, to have too good to use syndrome for it, or, like, I just, like... This is going to be better than my other tarot card that I should be carrying around, and then I just carry around, like, use it for something dumb.
What happens with me with the Strength is I always forget that it's temporary, and I use it in a double deal, and then I go to the next room, and I'm like, what the hell? Why do I have one less heart? What happened here? Yeah.
Oh, man, look at those power moves.
Oh, come here, buddy. Oh, there you go.
Here's the father spoon.
Just sit with us. Just sit with us. But yeah, no, it's a goated. I know you're thinking, like, why are you talking about Binding of Isaac?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because they have tarot cards.
This is
All
probably
right.
an Arkham video anyway.
Yeah, this is a personality video. So if you don't like our personalities, this is gonna be abysmal for you.
Tough, yeah.
All right, we're almost at our top 10. Wow, we're at number 11, which is Judgment. When the game begins, replace a skull token in the chaos bag with a 0 token, swap them back after the game ends. And then the other one is when the game begins, replace the highest non-native token with a skull and swap them back after the game ends. So basically
like,
the +1 to
This
the
one's
skull.
cool.
There's a non-zero number of cards in this deck that are just, like, brutalized Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And I love it because this one's the positive one that
Yeah.
hurts Jim. Like, no, please.
This one has like a pretty good effect, but it loses lots of marks for having to remember to swap the tokens back at the end.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things that you just, like, put this, like, as the card, like...
In like the victory display or
yeah,
whatever.
or like, oh yeah, we have to do this on that.
Yeah. Great art too. It is actually just Jim.
this
It
is,
is.
like, better Toot than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do appreciate that one of the ones that has to do with the skull, which obviously everyone knows has to do with Jim and his trumpet, actually has the trumpet on
Yeah, it
it.
has like the dead and all the skeleton
Song of
hands
the
and
Dead,
stuff.
yeah, it's very good.
It is very good.
But now we're in the top 10. Wow. So things should start getting good here. I mean, I actually think, like, a lot of these cards have been cool. I think, like, apart from, like, I think, like, the bottom 7.
Yeah, the bottom sound, I'm like, if I
Yeah.
draw them the rest of them, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're pretty okay.
All right, we got the World. Each investigator defeated... Oh, that's the negative side. Positive side. Each investigator not defeated during this game may remove 1 trauma of their choice during its resolution. And the downside is each investigator defeated during this game suffers 1 trauma of their choice during the resolution.
This one's fun. It's like one of the few ways to remove trauma in some campaigns and getting extra trauma. Like this one does similar thing as the Fool.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes winning better and losing worse, but like it's more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Art's cool, too. That was the big thing, the art for this one.
Oh yeah, the Azathoth eating the earth and having the moon for dessert is like, whew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just...
because the moon is cheese.
Yeah.
It's just the cheese played after it.
That's where all he's leaking, too. So that's what happened. He was just licking the moon.
He's drooling on
Yeah,
it.
just, I love the moon cheese.
Give me
Yeah.
the moon cheese.
I also do think that trauma is an area of the game that I think is very interesting and I like to see explored more. And especially with that. So I also do when people point out if you do like carrying your character through campaign to campaign, you go for observed and just try hard for this one each time.
Like every round, some of your first upgrades.
Yeah. All right, number 9, we got the Lovers. When the game begins, each investigator searches the deck for an ally asset that enters their deck and shuffles their hand. And the negative, when the game begins, each investigator searches the deck for an ally asset and removes from the game and shuffles their deck.
This is the worst one in Binding of Isaac.
No, you have to play the blood bank extra times.
That
What are we
is-
talking about?
No, this one's like so bad. Like you play Eve, you have 1 hit point,
Brilliant place.
done.
I mean, I usually only play Eve or Judas, so.
What's wrong with you guys?
I like having low health and high damage.
Yeah, like if I'm not playing the game for glass cannon stress,
Then why am I playing?
doing?
Yeah, why am I playing?
Like,
Also,
To
like,
unlock things.
that is true. That is true.
there's too many things.
Yeah.
I'll never get them all, so it doesn't matter.
Why
There
even
is. I've been
try?
looking for the fucking Black Lotus for years.
Oh, I found that on like run 3.
Man, must be nice. Must be
And then
nice.
horribly lost the run anyway because I was terrible at the game. So.
Anyway, the good side of this one's really fun. The bad side, like, unfortunately, kind of doesn't really do anything. It will rank higher if the negative side was like search for each copy of an ally with the same name and remove them.
Yeah, just get those allies.
Instead of
Get,
just,
get
like,
an
one
ally out of
copy.
your deck, like all copies of them. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Like, it'd be unfortunate if you built your deck around an ally, but that's also kind of your fault.
I mean, but also at the same, like, you're playing like 8 games of Arkham.
Yeah,
one of them can just like,
kinda sucks.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, just do it.
yeah.
Just do it.
Just don't be a baby.
Yeah. Just lose your special ally, Pete Sylvester. You'll be fine.
Just lose your special ally, Anna Caslow.
Fair point.
You got me good, game. Guess I'll lose.
Yeah. All right. Look at all these tarot cards.
Oh,
Thank God I still got
yes.
my moon pendant.
Yeah.
Thank God. All right.
Yep.
Number 8. This is another one I actually did not know existed. Was the stars. After an investigator reveals an Elder Sign token during a skill
There's
test.
only one.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
They may heal 1 damage or 1 horror, and then the inverse is when they reveal an auto fail, you must take a damage or a horror.
I really like this
Yeah.
one where they just like insult the injury. You draw the off like it's like here. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's just. I mean, like there's a basic weakness that does this, and most of the time you just ignore it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think like what you said would have been fun if it was the positive was if you draw an auto fail you heal, and the other one is if you draw the Elder Sign you take damage, just to like, you know.
Yeah.
But it also is funny that it spits on you. You know.
Well, this one's the star. They want them to do something with the other side that was positive. I also understand the
Yeah.
theming of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then they were like, oh, just do the opposite for the negative side.
Yep.
But-
All right, we got the Magician in number 7. Each investigator begins the game with 3 additional resources, or the inverse loses 3 fewer resources and cannot gain resources during their first turn. I just love like you drew Indebted and then you get this, you're just like, well.
Man, if you get to play the campaign with Indebted, I wouldn't even complain
Yeah.
about hitting this.
yeah, right. Like no sympathy.
Yeah. You've already got it good for 7 other scenarios. Like,
Yeah, the only world where I see indebted as a problem is if I'm trying to play a geared up pile,
Yep.
and then I probably reroll, or build a different deck.
Yeah.
Like immediately
you
retire.
could play not a geared up deck.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah, no. If I'm a Guardian or any other class
Yeah.
with blue splash, I gotta play
Yeah.
geared up. Those are the rules.
Sometimes I even have to take damage and horror to put geared up into my deck. And
Yep.
Travis is like, "Why do you want that? You're playing purple cards. They're all spells." And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah. No, those ritual candles ain't gonna play themselves.
Nope.
You have an emergency cache in your start of the game.
Yep.
2 resources is also like it's and then you can't gain. I love that also you cannot do the thing that we punish you
Yeah, that's
for.
a big plus. That's why this
Yeah.
one ranked so high, and then like it's also it's Buddy, which we'll see later. But yeah, it does like actually change the way you play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good.
All right, number 6, we got Justice. Cancel the first doom that will be placed on the final agenda of the game. The inverse is the final. Basically, just get an extra doom on the final agenda. Get a little like Ancient Evils in waiting.
This one's like remarkably similar to the lose 2 actions, gain 2 action one, but it is cooler because it is doom and it is just a full turn instead of you not getting to play. It doesn't feel like you're losing out. You're
Sick
just
art, too.
like
You
there's
stab
just
the
less
moon.
time. You start with less time is what you expect, you know.
Yeah. I also like that it's very easy to like remember it too, because like for mid game 1, I just like put it on top of the last agenda.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Yeah. And this one does
And
not
then-
have memory issues.
Isn't that what happened? I did that once, and I think it was when you and I were playing, and then we got there, and I was like, why the fuck is this here? Yeah, so even my memory issues don't do much for me to help solve those.
Why did I put this here?
All right, top 5, what we've all been waiting for. The 5 best tarot cards with no questions asked. Except for the question is why are you ranking the tarot cards, which I think is a fair question.
We need a list video.
Yeah, why not?
All right, the Tower. Each investigator chooses one basic weakness in their deck and removes from the game. Return them after the game ends. And the negative, which is add one random basic weakness to the investigator's deck, remove them at the end of the game.
Like this one a lot.
Yeah, I like the negative on this one a lot. It's like the positive one's fun. It's sometimes nice to just be like, hey, get out of here, this one card just for like one.
Yeah.
But I really like the negative of just giving yourself like just a random basic weakness for it.
Yeah, this one, the reason this one isn't like number 1 or 2 is probably just because you have to remember to take them out or put them back in.
Also, number one's really fun.
Well, number one
one's
is really fun. Yeah, we like number 1. That's why it's number 1.
Yeah. It's a cool card. Yeah. All right.
Great art too.
I mean, the Tower is also like. Actually, maybe that's the one I like the
They
least.
made an entire tarot card about the Stephen King series. That's
It's true.
wild.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's his magnum opus, right? So, all right, number 4, we got the Chariot. Each investigator begins the game with 2 additional cards in their opening hand. Let's go. Or each investigator begins the game with 2 fewer cards in their opening hand and cannot draw cards during their first turn.
Yeah, this one's like the resource one, but more impactful.
Yeah,
Cooler.
because cards are better than resources.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Quite frequently, cards are worth multiple resources.
I mean, I love the also like the dream
Explain
world.
how.
No, this isn't the series for that.
I like the idea of just having Studious and then like 9 card opening hand. More opening hand than hand size seems like a fun way to start a game.
Yeah.
Just like you basically get whatever you want in your deck then in your opening
The
hand.
downside can like
Start
really put
putting
you in a
Anna
corner at the start of the
Caslow
game.
and all kinds of other tarot cards into play.
Yeah. Tarot cards go with your Anna Caslows and your
Yeah.
tarot card review. Who'd have thought?
Who knew?
Yeah, and the downside one's fun too because it's like it sucks.
Yeah, it can like put you in a corner really early on.
Yep. I mean, like every time you in Forgotten Age, you usually bring gas, but you don't bring food. You can get away with no food, but you need the gas.
Yeah, it's because
You need
gasoline
gas.
has a lot of calories in
It's
it.
true. Just glug super juice. It's like Gatorade.
I don't have to eat for 3 years now.
Yeah, right?
All right. Top 3. I know you've been waiting with bated breath, everyone at home. We got Strength. When the game begins, each investigator may play an asset from their hand at -2 cost. The negative is during the first round of the game, investigators cannot play assets.
Yeah, this one's like pretty interchangeable with the last one, to be honest.
Yeah.
They are very similar in what they do, and it's here for a very similar reason. But this one's got like a sick lion on it, and I like the parallel.
Yeah, it's Russell.
Yeah, I like the parallel between like the lion and like how the ladies also got like a mane.
Yeah.
And cheese earrings.
Yeah. Also, it's like a manticore and not a lion.
Yeah, it
Just
has a
kidding.
scorpion tail. Yeah,
that's
gotcha.
Sick.
No, the scorpion tail is actually the ladies.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's like
interesting.
kind of weird.
The Scorpion King, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. My favorite thing is that on the negative side of this, it's like people are like, "What do I do on the first round?" What do
Use
you
your $5 to investigate.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Yeah.
All right, down you go. All right, number 2, the Hanged Man.
Hanged.
During setup, each investigator may take up to 2 additional mulligans. And the downside is you cannot mulligan or replace weaknesses in your opening hands, and when the game begins, you resolve the revelation effect.
Oh no.
This one's
2
super
extra
impactful.
mulligans, hey?
Yeah. Or none. And you just eat your weaknesses on turn 1.
Great art, too. This is the one that I always think of for, like, these ones. This is the one that comes to my head first, apart from maybe Puking Bird.
Yeah.
But I
It
mean,
does
like-
have arguably the best art.
Yeah. 2 additional mulligans is very good, and no mulligan is a great balance of that.
Yep.
All right. And now our last one, our number 1. If you've been keeping track, you know what this is. It's also the one that I think is like kind of like the most fun potential.
Absolutely.
Both sides. The Devil. Each investigator has 1 additional slot of the type chosen by that investigator when the game begins. Or the downside is each investigator has 3 fewer slots, each of a different type chosen by that investigator when the game begins.
Tarot slots, you say.
Yeah. So it's really only, it usually ends up being 2 because tarot's easy.
You probably lose in like Arcane, and you have to lose one you care about.
Yeah.
You might.
Which is like, well, that's also body if you're not using it.
Yeah.
Right. But it'll end up hitting like 1 slot that you care about.
Yeah, like it'll make the game like noticeably. It's fine if it doesn't affect like one person.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not playing body assets. I just keep my hand slots, and like, I don't care about my arcane slots. I don't care about my tarot slot. For people who are like do care about their arcane slots or their body slot, like it's a little tough.
And come on, Russ. It does also, I think, like scale with collection growth too, because it's like more as like Guardians, for example, they get spell slots. Get that away from Travis. It's gonna kill him, Russ. As Guardians like get more spell slots, they're gonna start using spell slots. Then if they ever play with this, they might be like, oh, now like it's gonna like rock the boat a bit.
Yeah, you've seen that happen with accessories too. Like most decks include an accessory of some kind, and like at the very sure you might not want to play it, but like, or you might be okay with losing it, but like it's still like just a dead card in your deck kind of then.
And also just like getting an additional slot can be like 3 hands. Who the fuck cares? Let's just do it, right? 2 body slots? You only dream of 2 body slots. It's not even possible.
Yeah, two body slots, and then you show up with 2 bandoliers.
Yeah, it's like
got 6 hand
Oh
slots.
my god!
like it's just like fun, you know? 2 tarot slots?
You pull out your shotgun and you have 2 sledgehammers strapped to your back.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
Yeah. Yeah, and just even like, it's
I don't
wild.
even use them. They're just here to look cool.
Fuck it, even if you're like just like being boring and playing like Beat Cop, just 2 ally slots for fun.
Yeah, or you just show up and you're like, I have 2 magnifying glasses and a fingerprint kit.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just fun. It's just fun. Yeah. And it also is good that, you know, I do wish it was 4. I think 4 would be like really fun.
Yeah.
Because then you actually have to like make some really hard choices.
I do think that they're like kind of shied away from these actually mattering a little bit. I
mean,
think
yeah.
they could have put like these all could have been more impactful.
But we could also just like house it and be like 3 means 4 now.
Yeah.
Right?
4 means 5 now.
Wow, man, fucking emergency caster just got so good. Gain 5 resources.
Yeah, Faustian Bargain's really bad now because
It
5
is.
means 3 now.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Sucks to be rogue.
Yep.
You know what's really good? The deep knowledge.
Sucks to
Yeah.
be rogue. I mean, it sucks to be rogue unless you're like skids, and then you got no 5s on your stat line, but you got you got 2 3s, and 3 is 5 now.
However, on that note, Leo DeLuca just got really good. Now only costs
Yeah.
3. That's really easy to get back.
Amina's living the good life.
Let's
finally.
go, Amina!
Lola and Jenny.
Yeah, people watching right now are like, what the fuck is going on? All right, we'll put this video out of its misery. We're going to take it out back and shoot it. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you very soon for another Arkham video. Have a good one, and as always, a GG's.